Delicate Flower Guide. This is the grave you need to go to when you get the Delicate Flower. You have to do this without taking any damage and without using any fast travel options like the Dream Gate, which would make it incredibly easy, or the Stagways, which would make it a lot easier, or taking any damage. So no fast travel via Dream Gate or Stag, and no damage from where you get the flower all the way to here. Now, I understand most people are probably just looking for the location where you have to drop the flower off to get the shard, which is the reward, the mask shard. But I recommend you keep watching, because there's a trick that can make it a lot easier for yourself. If you don't do it, you're gonna have a hard time. Next, practice the thorns area. No matter what you do, you'll have to go into this room. There are many paths to get here, but to get to the grave you need to pass this thorns section. Getting hit by the thorns means your flower breaks. Practice this until you're very, very comfortable in going through it, or you will hate yourself for failing at the very end. I recommend just going through this like a couple times till you can do it like 80% of the time. The route that I'm going to show you isn't that hard, but it's annoying to fail at the end and have to start over. Number 3. You need to know which charms to use. Personally, I use these ones. This one can't unequip it. This one is basically a little turret I carry with me. It's useful for having to kill any small enemies that I don't want to get near and risk taking damage from. Same for spiders. This is just so I know where I'm on the map, and this is just so I can get a lot of soul to cast spells with. Not that I really need it, but I don't know, I had to put something there. I don't think anything else really helps. Plus I just like that particular one. We start at the end. Why? Well, there's this thing in this game where if you use a bench, all the big mobs reset. These small ones, like these little bushes, don't, but bigger ones that are a little bit harder to kill do. So what I do is I start at the end, go through the route that we're going to take in reverse, and kill all the big mobs along the way. That way they can't bother us when we get the actual flower. So that's the route we're gonna take. I don't know if it's the most efficient one or even the most safe one, but it's the one that I've found that worked, and it's rather direct, so it's probably one that most people will think of. This is a big mob. You need to kill all of these along the route, otherwise you will take damage from them when you get the flower, and that's what you don't want. If you get the gist and just want to see the actual run, just skip to 12 minutes and 42 seconds. Also big mobs, make sure to kill the thorny ones. These ones don't count, so... through the gate. Delicate flower doesn't get destroyed by bubbling water. Next up, going up through the teacher's archives. Make sure to kill all the big jellies. The small ones will reappear, but the big ones won't. I'm by no means claiming I am a good player of this game, by the way. Big pregnant ones also disappear when you go through here a second time. Make sure to kill them all, that could potentially hurt you. Same for these infected big fly thingies. Remember to dodge those, but if you just keep moving, it should be fine. Remember to kill the one at the bottom left here. I had to do a retake because I got hit by that one. The small spitty ones do respawn, but there's an easy way to avoid them, so I'll show you when I actually do the run. Wow, that was dumb. Killed that one for good measure. Probably wouldn't have bothered us, but you know, better safe than sorry. Even though you can kill that guy in one hit, it doesn't respawn when you kill it, so might as well. Same for those three. Just in case. We're taking the tram. Make sure to not sit in the bench. Don't make the mistake or you have to do all the clearing all over again. There will be a bench at the Delicate Flower as well. Do not sit on that one either. That is how you get to the Delicate Flower starting area. There are a couple of breakable walls along the way. I can't remember where, but if you just follow the route and compare to your own game, it should be pretty easy enough to spot. This is a lot easier if you put your Dream Gate here, just in case you mess up and you need to start over. However, when you do start over, do not sit on the bench. Never sit on the bench until the flower is delivered, pretty much. Otherwise you'll have to do the clearing all over again. Now, I already did this, but basically you just talk to the girl and get the flower. I mean, like, that's all you're missing, really. So, flower run. Go left and down. Easy peasy. There are no threats for a little while, because we dealt with them all. Taking the tram doesn't destroy the flower, but do not sit on the bench. Benches are your worst nightmare. Still no threats, but they're coming up soon. I think this is the first room with a small threat. Just run past it. By the time it manages to shoot its ball at you, you're already where you way away from where you were when it shot it. So yeah, like there's really no point to engage with it. Just avoid it and don't jump into it, I guess. You don't even really need to jump over these, you could just double jump if you have the wings. Now in this room, you just keep running left But don't go up yet. First we go to this room, so that their aggro resets. And we go back, and then we can completely avoid even aggroing them. See? Easy peasy. They don't have any chance of hitting us in that situation. Remember to keep going, otherwise the icicles hit you. Don't take the risk, not that there really is any risk. You could even shadow dash through these. Into the water and then to the right. Now here comes the part why we have the spiders. They'll help us out in this area. We can avoid the electricity, but as you can see, the spiders make short work of all the little squid thingies along the way. Just make sure you don't accidentally fall on one. You can avoid all the electricity, so you don't even need to time your jumps or anything at all. You just need to descend away from them. Very simple. All the way to the bottom. Just let the spiders do their work. There you go. Into the water. Didn't even need to time a jump once there. Small danger in this room. Just these guys. Just make sure to stop and hit them before you run into them. Like, they're stationary targets pretty much, so there really isn't that much risk, but you know. Don't be a dummy. No risk in this room. Stick to the left. This is where you need to go through. Now, unless you jump, there's no risk in this room either. Just don't press the jump button and don't hit your head on the spikes and you'll be fine. Here the flying moss balls, whatever they're called, will start annoying you. But they're really easy to deal with. You can usually just walk past them. Like so. And so. And so. Just go over these spikes. Really isn't any risk. All you really need is a dash, and if you have double jump, that's like redundant. Redundancies are always nice, but you know. Up here. Now, the second most risky part of this entire endeavor. Avoiding all these balls. Still pretty straightforward, to be honest. Like, I picked this route for a reason. And next, this jump. Don't get hit by the thorns. This is what you've trained for, so it should be easy enough. And there you have it. Hardly had to deal with any small mobs, and the big mobs were all taken care of, so that's pretty easy in the end. If you didn't know about the bench reset thing, this is a lot harder. But it's actually pretty straightforward once you know about that. Remember to come back and get your shard after you're done.